Hey everybody, thanks for watching these videos, and I'm happy to get season 4's first video out. And what's included in this episode is me working on some wiring, getting ready to pull the mast out, and the upcoming solar arch project. I'm going over the stainless steel tubing and some of the plans for that. And then as the boat is first time out of the water, I did a walkabout and took a look at the paint and some of the transducers. And then I managed to make some tea in this video as well. It's a very important thing, especially when it's getting cold. And I walked through the Victron Energy mobile app, so enjoy the video. My task here to separate the mast. I've got a number of wires here. I made this little pad, and this is actually where my table is going to be. So it'll be integrated into the table. So those two bolts are just a temporary thing. I'm going to basically extend this all the way up. These wires down here on this side, I disconnect and I put some little labels down there. So basically, this is my mid-lower light. This is my anchor light, and they have just a little thing on them here. So each wire is slightly different, so it's not easy to mix them up. And I'm just going to make sure I take a picture of the wires up close, and then I'll remember how to put it together next year. Once I disconnect this end of it, there's not really any chance that anything can touch. If they touch and short out or anything like that, there's not really any chance of that happening. So I built this basically so that I can do a quick disconnect. And then I left a bit of slack in it, so it's a bit long here. But my intention is that when I build my table leg up, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to mount it, on the side somewhere, because I'm building a box, and a box that'll slip in the other box. So that way I can keep that off the ground, bring it up a little bit to be a little bit easier. This just makes my life a lot easier every year now. It's just a quick disconnect and disconnect. I'll just leave them out here for now. When they pull the mast up, it'll just clear. So they don't need to be worrying about it. And it's getting dark earlier now, so I'm out of light basically. But you can see up there, that's the lift. And they'll be taking me out either tomorrow or Friday. I'm scheduled, I think, for Friday, but they might take me out early depending upon how busy they are. Yeah, it's a long day, so I'm glad it went well. Like I said, it was I was blessed. I had a weather window that worked out. We had rain Monday, Tuesday, high winds. We had 30 knot winds. And then Thursday, Friday, so I said, well, look, I'll bring it over on Wednesday. And there was a spot open here, so I'm ready to go. Hey, good morning. I'm in the shop. Going to be spending a fair amount of time here and on the boat over the winter. But right now, I've got my pipe bender and my welder getting ready. I'm going to start fabricating the arch. These are 20-foot lengths, and it's polished stainless steel. And I've got myself 7/8 and 1.25 inches. So I'm going to make the main outside structure 1.25 inches, and then any of the cross pieces I'm going to make out of the 7/8. So I'm going to have the solar panels mounted to the 7/8 on the top and build some bracing. And then, the arch that I posted before, I'm going to start bending the metal and trying to weld that. The plan is to take the guardrail, the stern, I think it's called a pulpit, but the guardrail around the back of the boat. I'm going to be taking that right out, bringing it here, and then mounting it on like a piece of plywood, so it sits on the floor without moving. And then I'm going to cut the front edge of it off and replace it with the 1.5 inches. And then for the back, I'm going to be creating new holes. Get my footing down for the 1.5 inch tubing, it's going to be in the exact same spots as the original foot holes. So that way I don't have to re-brace the one that's there now. So I'm going to cut the bottom off, and I'm going to actually attach it to the new tube. I'm going to weld it back on there. So that's kind of my plan. And then I'm going to have two new ones in the back. So I'll actually have the guardrail, original 4 footings, and I'll have 2 new footings in the back where the arch, the back legs of the arch go. So I'll have 6 points of contact to the boat. And then I have, of course, the steel backing plates that go underneath the tubes, the footings of the tubes. So that's kind of the plan. And then once I get the main arch built, I'm going to build some extensions off it, similar to the way they make some dinghy davits, lifting, that kind of thing, where they've got some arms going out and then some braces. And then I'm just going to build, it's either I'm going to do just a couple of straight pieces across just to keep it simple. That might be very well, but I do want to put a couple of pieces out with a little curve in them to provide the underlying support for the solar panels. And I'm going to put in basically a mounting 4 panels in front of the arch, 4 panels behind the arch, and then the actual arch itself will have radar, VHF antenna. I'm going to put them in a couple spots, or actually backup VHF, and GPS antenna. I'm still working out the AIS, but I think I'll have that on the big mast. So I'm going to keep my mast antenna, but I'm just going to put a secondary antenna on the arch. So if I ever get hit by lightning or something and blow my antenna, I'll be able to hopefully connect into the other antenna. We'll see. That's kind of the idea, just to have a backup. So we'll see how this project goes. Exactly the greatest day, but I'm glad to be here, able to get a little bit of work done. So it's not looking too bad. I've got a little bit of paint right here, and this is where at the very beginning of the season I hit the dock. The wind or the waves were in the marina were so big, my rope stretched and my bow was over the dock and it was bouncing and it hit the dock. I got a little bit of a repair here. Just gonna sand that down. Looks like whatever reason it's not sticking. So that's the this is the barrier coat here. So it's just the top coatings, but just I'll scuff it and repaint it when I do the anti-foul. This part here looked really good. Happy about that. So yeah, not too bad. Just dirt. My rudder came out okay. All my repairs that I did. It sounds a little hollow there, but I think that's because it is structurally hollow. There's this is always fun. All these dead animals I'm going to have in here. Actually, the anti-foul did work in behind. It's good. I spent more time trying to get that done this year, getting my brush in there. So I can see it didn't actually, there's not much on there at all. I just got some barnacles on the top because I know I didn't do a good job painting there. And it shows there's still some stuff there. They did spray it when they take it out, so that's kind of the marina's yards regular thing, but you can see got some snails on there. I don't need them. I don't know what is in there, but this is great. So it is very smooth. So this is great. No resistance at all. And why that's great is that last year, this, I believe it's the standoff for the cutlass bearing. Different terms for this, support. But this bracket or piece of metal was slightly bent. So what I did is I ended up tweaking it with some really big beams. I pulled it back and I got it straight. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's always good to see your boat out of the water. So basically all of my repair work here was really good. I got just, I don't really know why this is off and on working, because it seems like that's pretty easy to move to me. But I was not getting readings. in my last sale, so I don't know what is going on. So I'm gonna have to check my electricals. Like I said, maybe I've got electrical problems somewhere else that has nothing to do with the cable. This is my wind transducer plug, and I don't know if you can see in there. One of them has green on it. More investigation, because I'm not seeing like any chafe, anything on this wire. I did put a rubber grommet, so I did do this properly. And more than anything, I left a pull cable here apparently. I can't find the pull cable down at the other end, so I have to go searching for it. I'll need a light, can't see. But I did find one other problem that I didn't know I had. If you look at this wire here, it's actually chafing. You can see it right there. It broke. So this is why I was having VHF. I couldn't figure out why my VHF was like, I could barely hear things. Now I know why. So this is the other end of that wire, but I'm thinking the wire's fine. Basically, I gotta get this thing put away, ready to get put away on Monday. So I've got a day to sort out my problem here with the wire and figure out what to do. So I'm going to take some measurements of the wires, the electrical wires, and see if there's anything touching, I guess, because now that the wind transducer is out, I should be able to create a long loop and then figure out if the wiring is touching somewhere. I should be able to sort that out. As you can see, this is on. Appliances. Very necessary part of boat maintenance. Being able to make a tea. I'm in the danger zone at the bottom of my batteries. I'm not getting much charging here now that I've pulled out. I need a bit of sun for the day, but I'm also pulling out 1.17 watts, so kilowatts. And then another way to look at this is my inverter. So high, inverting, 120 volts. I don't normally have it going that low, but I cooked yesterday too. And my solar right now. So it looks like I've barely got enough volts to do anything. I need 10 volts more than the battery voltage for this to really do anything. So it's turned on, and I'm putting 0.2 of an amp of solar into it right now. So it's not really helping all that much. 10 watts of solar charging. So when it's a cloudy day out, you don't get much. It was just raining a minute ago. But it is boiling my water. I'm pulling, basically this would be the equivalent of 10% of my motor. So 1,000 watts. And I said, like, when I use the motor, I don't normally use that much. I'm usually around 800 watts. I'll see that better here underneath the battery monitor. So right now I'm using 1,175 watts. So it's a 1,200 watt inverter. That's where I sized it. I measured it before. And it still only took maybe a minute and a half to boil the water, so it's all good. So turning this off, you can see it drops off. And now my my battery voltage settled in at 49.23. So I said the good note is that it was 47.7 volts. So I've got probably a cell or something that's not charging right. That might be what my problem is with these batteries. So I've got one that's hurting me, but it did bounce back pretty quick. And I can see now I've got 0.4 of an amp of current in from the solar power, trying to do some light charging. So they will keep them topped up. I'll keep running this over the winter just so I can make tea while I do some maintenance. here. Today I'm going to empty out my galley and get this, I'm going to give it a light sanding. That'll be my, not today, but my next step will be a light sanding, and then I'm going to put 3 more coats of the white. I like the white. I kind of decided on that, and I'm even going to make this white. So I'm going to get my fairing compound. I'm going to fill in this little gap here on the top, and I'm just going to paint this all white. And then I'm just going to use accent colors like my dish towels and things like that. I'm not a big fashion color guy, so whoever has good ideas on that stuff, you know, chip away here in the comments. I picked this color here just because it was what they had. I'm not too sure I like it. I might want to redo it, but it was brown. My boat's gotten really a brown kind of after color, whatever they call that, accent color. So that's what I went with. No other real reason. Oh, it's good having a hot drink on a cold day. Well, this is a piece of the cable. It's a RG8 cable. And then these connectors are PL259s, I think. So I'm just trying to figure out